Read this next sentence slowly. Did you hear a voice in your head saying the words? For most of you, there's a little narrator in there right now, and it sounds like you. We call it the inner voice, the running commentary, the thing you plan with, argue with, and replay embarrassing memories with at 2 in the morning. It feels like the most private, most you part of you. But here's the twist almost nobody tells you. That voice is not originally yours. You weren't born with it. It was installed. And once you see where it actually came from, you may never hear it quite the same way again. To find the voice's origin, we have to go back. Back to before you could think in words at all, to when you were 2 or 3 years old. Watch any toddler playing alone and you'll notice something strange. They talk, out loud, to no one. Put the red one here. No, there, uh-oh, it fell. For a long time, adults assumed this was just cute nonsense. Babbling, a brain not yet finished. One psychologist disagreed completely. His name was Vygotsky, working in the 1930s. He noticed children talked to themselves more when a task got harder. The babble wasn't noise. It was thinking out loud. The child is taking words from the outside, the words their parents used to guide them, and turning those words on themselves. Be careful. Almost got it. Coaching themselves the way they had been coached. And then Vygotsky saw what happens next. As the child grows, that out-loud talk doesn't disappear. It goes underground. First it gets quieter. Then it becomes a mutter. Then just lips moving. And finally, somewhere around the early school years, it drops below the surface and goes completely silent. That silent leftover is the voice in your head. Inner speech is, in large part, the out-loud self-talk of a small child, gone quiet. Sit with that for a second. The voice you think of as the core of you began as you, as a tiny child, repeating the words the grown-ups around you said. Which means your inner voice is built in part out of other people. The parent who soothed you, the one who snapped at you, the teacher, the words that got used on you over and over. It may be why, for some people, the voice in their head can be surprisingly harsh. It's echoing a tone it learned long ago, and why, for others, it's a steady, kind coach. It's also why your inner voice often isn't just one voice. Researchers find inner speech is frequently a conversation. You going back and forth with a version of someone else. Okay, but is this just a tidy theory, or can we actually catch the voice in the act? It turns out we can. When you talk silently in your head, your body doesn't fully get the memo. Sensitive sensors on the throat and lips can pick up faint, tiny movements in the very muscles you'd use to speak out loud. Your inner voice is a kind of whisper so quiet your own mouth barely twitches. You're not just imagining speech. In a small way, you're almost doing it. And brain scans line up with this. Inner speech tends to activate many of the same regions as speaking out loud, including areas that help produce speech. In a sense, you are both the speaker and the listener. You talk, and you listen to yourself talk. That's the quiet loop running in your head all day. So what is the voice actually for? Why would the mind let a toddler's chatter move inside, instead of just letting it fade away? Because it's useful. Try holding a phone number in your mind for 10 seconds. Feel that? You're repeating it in the voice. That's your working memory, and the voice is doing the work. It's how you plan, rehearse the hard conversation, talk yourself off the ledge. Don't send that text. You can do this. A lot of your self-control is just the voice narrating. And children who use more of that out-loud self-talk tend to do better at sticking with difficult tasks. The voice isn't only chatter. It's a tool for steering yourself. Which brings us to the part that genuinely unsettles people. Not everyone has this voice. Some people experience almost no inner speech at all. Researchers have recently started calling it anindaphasia, the absence of an inner voice, though they still argue over whether it's truly gone or just very faint. And for someone with a loud narrator, it's almost impossible to picture. But here's what matters. They think perfectly well. They reason, remember, and plan. They simply do it in other forms, in pictures, in pure concepts, in a kind of wordless knowing. Because the voice was never the thinking itself. It's one costume that thinking can wear. Some minds wear it constantly, some almost never. Most of us are somewhere in between. In fact, when researchers carefully sample what's in people's minds moment to moment, they find it was never just one thing. There's inner speech, yes, but also inner seeing, raw feeling, and a shapeless kind of thought with no words at all. Your inner world and mine might be wildly different, and we would never know it, because each of us quietly assumes everyone is running the same thing we are. And honestly, this is the edge of what science can do. We can't climb inside another person's head. We can only ask them, carefully, what was there a moment ago, and trust the report. So when you see a confident claim that some exact % of people have no inner voice, be a little skeptical. The honest answer is that we don't have a clean number. Measuring the inside of a mind is still extraordinarily hard. But the origin story holds up. The voice you're hearing right now, the one reading this very sentence, is the grown-up echo of a small child talking out loud, repeating the people who raised them. It isn't a flaw, and it isn't magic. It's a habit your mind built, out of instruction and comfort and correction, and then quietly carried inside. So next time that voice pipes up, planning, worrying, or cheering you on, listen for just a second. You might catch whose voice it first learned to be. If the hidden machinery behind ordinary moments is your kind of thing, then stick around. There's a lot more where this came from.